Hi guys, my name is Dylan and today we are back to another episode of just me ranting random things. And actually we are just back from Putrajaya where we just done a review for one of our viewers. And on the way while just scrolling Instagram and just YouTube as well, the algorithm actually showed me a lot of videos where agents are saying Bukit Jalil is the next Mont Kiara, it's the next go-to place to buy, it's the next gem. Well, I am a realtor myself, so I understand that intention. And personally, I have both a house in Bukit Jalil and I have a house in Mont Kiara as well for investment. So I think I have a say in both locations. I personally really don't feel that Bukit Jalil will be the next Mont Kiara, and it will not be easily in the next 10 years. And here's why. So the first things first is you have to understand why Mont Kiara is Mont Kiara today. Okay, Mont Kiara has a lot of international schools. With international schools, you need to see the students' demographic over there. Is it mainly locals or is it mainly expats, right? So if the schools over there attracts a lot of expats coming over, which means their kids, which means their parents would have to be staying nearby, right? And that's the reason why a lot of expat coming from Korea, Japan, China, Europe, US, you can see all sorts of nationality over there. And that is why Mont Kiara's rental rate is very high, because not all expats want to buy a house over there. Oftentimes when they migrate over or when they are renting in Mont Kiara for 5 years, 6 years down the road and they are sure that they will be staying and living in Malaysia, then only they will buy a house there. So it's a very healthy influx of expats and outflux as well, because some of them may be going back. So it's this kind of situation where prices, rentals go up steadily, right? And now the spillover is towards Desa Park City as well. As you can see, a lot of expats or MM2H buyers are actually going to Desa Park. Now, why Bukit Jalil will not be Mont Kiara within these 10 years, right? It's because you look at the international school over there, you only have one Tzu International School. And if you were to find time to just head over there and see the school over there, the students, right? I would say easily 70 to 80%, even 90% of them are locals. So it means the family over there mainly are local. And for locals, right, you don't really need to stay in Bukit Jalil just to send your kids to the school, right? You can be staying in Puchong, you can be staying in Bandar Kinrara, you can be staying in Serdang. There are so many places for you to stay in. But for expats, in order for them to live comfortably and not too out of place, right, they will need to stay in almost a very similar community. For example, in Ampang, in Mont Kiara, in Desa Park City, KLCC, and some of them in PJ. So you have different hot spots. Bukit Jalil not having that much of an influx of foreigners, I don't see how the prices will be pushed up. Now, I do understand agents are doing their job of promoting that area. And personally, I did sell quite a number of units back then when I was carrying Bukit Jalil. So I'm quite familiar with that area. But I think it's the expectation that has to be set with your clients. You cannot be mis-selling your clients saying that, oh, first thing first, you have a park here and the park actually attracts a lot of expats. No. If you head over there, the park, I would say easily 95% of them are locals. We have Malays, Chinese, Indians. We are just walking there because I frequent to the park almost every week in the morning, right? So it's a different demographic. Having a park, then people keep saying it will be a next Desa Park City. I mean, Desa Park City, how it is a Desa Park City, it's a unicorn, all right? You have really proper, well-planned township, and even now when they are launching more condominiums, right, it's still phase by phase, slowly but surely, right? Slow kung fu. But over here in Bukit Jalil for the past few years, right, we have been seeing massive constructions. Every small plot of land can be transformed into a condominium. And you ask yourself, if mainly locals are buying there, tell me how would the price be pushed up? Now, I'm not saying local areas won't go up in terms of pricing, it will. In fact, certain areas in PJ did go up in terms of pricing where locals are buying. But if you are doing the groundworks, right, because we do renting as well, we are selling properties as well. If you were to do a groundwork, when you meet a local buyer, locals know that area so well where they know the per square feet. For example, if the average per square feet in Bukit Jalil, example, is 700 ringgit per square feet. If you are selling slightly higher, say 850 ringgit per square feet, it has to be justified. Maybe your furnishing is very extravagant, it's very lush, where it's very opulent, or not a lot of locals are willing to eat this renovation thingy because we are staying over here, we have the time to oversee this renovation, this convenience, and this convenience or these furnishings doesn't really attract us. So we are more price sensitive. Whereas for expats, right, oftentimes they are maybe from Hong Kong, they are from Europe. At the moment they are outstation, they cannot afford to oversee the whole construction situation. So sometimes they want to come here, they just want something that is, ready to move in, high-end enough for me to just live comfortably. Because what's the reason for you to move over to Malaysia? It's because of lower cost of living and you want a slightly better environment with a lower price tag. So a lot of people then will say, is Bukit Jalil a good place for investment? I would say no, okay? Just straight up no. But if you are planning to buy for investment at the moment and then later on you want to stay in, then I think it's still okay. And the investment mindset, right? Please don't listen to any agents saying you can have positive cash flow of 1,000, 2,000 ringgit or do room rental. Please don't do that. Just renting out as a unit as a whole, you can cover your installment by maybe around 90%. And with more furnishings, of course, you can cover everything maybe with your maintenance fee. But don't expect it to really get a lot of positive cash flow. And also, Bukit Jalil at the moment, right, the price that they are selling for leasehold property as well, it's hovering around 800 ringgit-ish or 900 ringgit. And that is actually higher than Mont Kiara, where people kept saying Mont Kiara is atas, which actually I don't really agree with that. If Mont Kiara is here, Bukit Jalil should be around here. Let's be real. And with this kind of pricing, you are actually selling higher than Mont Kiara for certain condos. That doesn't really make sense really. So I feel if you can buy a property in Bukit Jalil where it's really below market price, then I think it's a good chance to enter for capital appreciation down the road. And when I mean down the road, it's really like down the road. It's not within like 3-5 years or upon completion, because you are already buying at future pricing, especially if it's a new condo. The ROI isn't looking that great as well, to be honest. I understand that a lot of agents will be using Park 2 and potentially the new condo Park Green and etc. with all the link bridge. Yes, that is like the creme de la creme of Bukit Jalil, where it's above Pavilion Bukit Jalil, and that's it. But other condos that are surrounding the parks and everything is not really as high as what people see. And even though if there is this price that is being transacted, maybe it's very above market value, how fast did it take the turnover rate? I kept mentioning, you have to look at the turnover rate. It takes 3 months, 2 months. All this has to be priced in because these are your opportunity costs. Next is the LRT station. Now, if you are buying Bukit Jalil because of LRT, I would say actually just don't buy. I've been staying there for years now, and the LRT, if you were to take to KLCC, you have to transit, and it takes around 1 hour-ish during non-peak hours. And the convenient thing for Bukit Jalil is the multiple highways that you can go to Max, you can go to KLIA, you can cut through Kesas and whatsoever. This is the convenient way. You buy Bukit Jalil, if you were to work, is to drive. It's not to take the train. If you want to take the train, why not go to Cheras, where it's MRT line 1 and line 2? Why not go to Kuchai? Why not go to Damansara, PJ? Like, there are so many better locations with better train accessibility, but you choose Bukit Jalil because of the LRT. It doesn't make sense really. Like, for this, it doesn't really make sense. And you as buyer, you didn't do a due diligence to just listen to what influencers, gurus, agents say about Bukit Jalil. Then that will result in a very negative impact if it didn't reach your expectation. Third is the park. Now, I saw there are some agents, I believe, saying that the park at this in Skylux, that area, is pet friendly. Now, I would say it's actually very, very wrong. It's a government, right? It's under town council, and any park that is under town council is not pet friendly unless as stated. This is very misleading because essentially you are targeting pet-friendly owners, and I know there are a lot of pet owners out there wanting to move to Bukit Jalil. They feel that they can buy into a Desa Park City concept but in the southern part of KL, but actually it's not. Unless your condo has certain facilities that are pet-friendly, then it's okay. So now, who should buy Bukit Jalil? Okay, you should buy Bukit Jalil if you really want to stay in a very serene area, which with convenience of this highway connecting to Max. If you're working in Cyberjaya, you can use this to cut through from Seri Petaling. And you want to go to KLCC, use Max. And if you're working in Subang, use Kesas. And then if you are a frequent traveler, you don't want to stay in Putrajaya, Cyberjaya, and you want to stay in somewhere nearer to city, you can stay in Bukit Jalil. Oh, and one more thing, upgraders. Like a lot of people who are living in Old Klang Road, in maybe Kuchai, the environment is a bit too bustling, too noisy. You want something more serene, then Bukit Jalil is a good upgrade. And honestly, if you're banking on Technology Park Malaysia to really prosper down the road, I would say give yourself at least 20 years, because in the current budget or all the developments, the Urban Renewal Act, right, none mention about Technology Park Malaysia. Regardless of any influencers, gurus, agents, right, whether if it's me as well, projects that I carry or that I don't carry, always do your own due diligence to do site visit, site survey, and just go in the morning, take a leave at night as well, just to see the situation and really check whether is it as per what they say. Because oftentimes I know how salesperson work. They don't really care. A lot of them don't really care about you as a buyer. They just want to just close the deal and just move on. So that is very against my philosophy, where it's very irresponsible to begin with. I just don't like this kind of attitude. So I guess with that's all for this episode. I'm not too sure if this video, will get a lot of bad feedback or what, but this is just me saying from a person who is staying in Bukit Jalil and has a property in Mont Kiara. My perspective cannot be on par with Mont Kiara. I'm not trying to say Mont Kiara is more prestigious. It's just the whole setting, the whole community is very different. With that, thank you so much for watching this episode. If you do like this episode, right, do like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.